So we are here with Benvolio and Romeo from Romeo and Juliet, and we're going to get an idea of what was really going through their minds in Act 1, Scene 2 of Romeo and Juliet. So, first off, Benvolio, when you asked Romeo, why out thou mad, why did you ask him?
Well, I just want, Romeo was just lovelorn right now, really, and he needs to remember that, take thou some new infection to the eye, and the rank poison of the old will die, you know.
And so, Romeo, it seems when the servant asked you, I pray, sir, can you read? You had no interest in responding. If you knew the letter was a list of invited people to the party, do you think you would have responded differently?
I do believe my response would have been sooner, but I wouldn't let that servant leave without me reading that letter. I did say, stay, fellow, I can read. My intention to read the letter was not high, but this was meant to happen. Fate is the cause of this fortune.
And Benvolio, the fair Rosaline whom Romeo loves will be at this feast of the Capulets was stated in the letter. Did you want him to go?
Well, yes, actually. At first, he was hesitant, but I told him, go thither with an unattainted eye. And I think that made him realize that by going to the party was not a bad idea after all.
And Romeo, how did you feel when Benvolio said to go hither with an untainted eye?
At first I was disappointed with his comment, but I figured why not, as I said, no such sight to be shown. I mean, I might as well try something new.
Benvolio, you said, but in that crystal scales, let there be weighed. What did you mean by this?
Well, I just really want my good friend Romeo over here to compare Rosaline with all the admired beauties of Verona, so we can see a wide spectrum of women there are.
Romeo, you stated ne'er saw her match since first the world begun. Do you see a future with you and Rosaline?
I feel my love for her can be swept, so that is why I will go to the party open-minded. But my beautiful Rosaline will never be forgotten in my future. As Benvolio reminds us, compare her face with someone that I shall show.
Exactly.
Very interesting. And this concludes our interview, and we have a bit of insight into what Benvolio and Romeo were really thinking about and how the dynamics were between the scene, Act 1, Scene 2.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Brody Barkin, open space.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. So, we're here with Juliet, the nurse, and Lady Capulet, and we're going to be going over what happened and what went down in Act 1, Scene 3. So, let's start it out with Juliet. So, Juliet, what were you thinking when you heard the nurse calling, God forbid, where's this girl? What of Juliet? To come see your mother?
I knew that the nurse was calling for me because of my mother, but I was surprised after I asked, Madame, I am here, what is your will? To discover that my mother wanted to talk to me about marriage.
Okay, I understand. Nurse, let's see, how do you feel about when Lady Capulet says, Nurse, give leave a while, he must talk in secret. Nurse, come back again. I have remembered me. Thou's here our counsel. Do you like that she treats you like family?
Well, she better. I have raised Juliet since she was a young girl and have been with her throughout her childhood. I still remain with her today. Faith, I can tell her age unto an hour.
One more question for you. Why is the thought of Juliet getting married making for such a sentimental memories for you? Such as when you say, on Lammas Eve at night she shall be 14. That shall she marry, I remember it well. 'Tis since the earthquake now 11 years, and she was weaned. I never shall forget it.
For it makes me recollect on times it seemed like yesterday, when in reality it has been 11 years, for then she could stand alone. It makes me think of how long I have raised and stood beside young Juliet, and to think she should be married gets me sentimental on the years gone by.
Sounds like you guys have a really nice connection. So, move on to Lady Capulet. Lady Capulet, how do you feel about Nurse? In this scene, you seem to disagree and disregard her often with comments such as, enough of this.
Nurse means little to me. She does what I say. Thou, I pray thee, hold thy peace.
That's a bit feisty. Let's go back to Juliet. Juliet, What did you mean when you said, "It is an honor that I dream not of," in response to your mother's question of marriage?
When I heard my mother ask, "How stands your disposition to be married?" I was surprised and didn't know how to respond to her question, and that's all I could think to say.
Alright, nurse, I got a pretty serious question for you right now. What goes through your mind when Juliet says, "It is an honor I dream not of," about marriage? And why did that spark the reaction it did?
Well, when she said this, I replied, "In honor, were I not thine only nurse, I would say thou hast sucked wisdom from thy teat, because it brings me great pride and joy that she takes after her nurse in many ways."
Talk about milking knowledge. Lady Capulet, you said, "Well, think of marriage now." You know, Juliet is still only 14, but you say that this is the time a woman gets married, is correct?
Ladies of esteem are made already mothers. By my count, I was Juliet's mother much upon these years.
Well then, who do you propose will take Juliet's hand?
The valiant Paris seeks Juliet for his love. I hope she can like of Paris's love.
Well, your mother sure has plans for you. Juliet, do you think your mother was pleased with the response you gave her when she asked, "Speak briefly, can you like of Paris love?"
I responded with, "I'll look to like if looking liking move, but no more deep lie and dart in mine eye than your consent gives strength to make it fly," which I think did please my mother.
Well, that's all we have for today, folks. We'll see you next time on getting into Romeo and Juliet. Thanks for being on the show, and see you next time.
Open space.